Are you looking for the best 3D printer? In this video we will look at some of the 8 best 3D printer on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Creality Ender-3 S1 Best Step-Up Starter Printer. I'd avoided Ender-3 printers for a long while, because they came in kit form and required many hours of assembly, setup and fine-tuning to use. For just a little more than the kit versions, the newer Ender-3 S1 comes nearly fully pre-assembled, and with high-end features like a direct drive extruder and self-leveling bed. Print quality even out of the box was excellent, although a lot of that comes down to having good models to work from. I'd love it to have a touchscreen and Wi-Fi, but apart from those missing features, this is a great way to get polished results from a 3D printer. Number 2. Anycubic Vyper. Best for out-of-the-box printing. The Anycubic Vyper FDM printer attempts to be both an affordable 3D printer and easy to use. It's a tricky needle to thread. Plenty of 3D printers offer automatic bed leveling and calibration to make sure prints come out even and firmly anchored to the print bed. This, however, is the first time I've seen a 3D printer run its bed leveling once, with zero manual input from me, and be totally good to go. I printed a 3D test file from the included SD card within minutes of powering on, and I've never seen a first print from a 3D printer come out so perfectly. When it comes to 3D printers, I value ease of use, simple setup and reliability above fancy features and even print quality. After all, if a 3D printer is hard to set up, hard to calibrate or requires constant tweaking and correcting, you're much less likely to use it, especially if you're just starting out. Number 3. Anycubic Mono. Best inexpensive resin 3D printer. Resin printers are the next step up in rapid prototyping design technology when you want your printing to look as high quality as possible. Just be warned, the liquid resin is harder to work with, and it requires both good ventilation and a portable UV light to properly cure. This model is extremely popular with board game hobbyists who want to print pro-looking miniatures, and sometimes you'll see it fall in price. Note that you can save $20 at Amazon by activating the instant coupon on the product page. Number 4. Monopris Mini Delta V2. Best for tiny desks. I had high hopes for this dirt cheap 3D printer with a tiny footprint. It's usually under $200 and requires no additional assembly. And I do like it, but it's for a specific audience. This is not the great low-cost entry-level printer I was hoping for. It required some tweaking and troubleshooting to get up and running. The included microSD card was so cheap and corrupted it never worked, the built-in Wi-Fi was never able to connect to my network, and the machine's arms got caught on some poorly installed plastic wire covers. I just ripped the paper-thin covers off. But once I had all the problems ironed out, it was a reliable little machine for quick jobs. It would make a great second 3D printer, or if you need to fit one into a small space. I especially liked the auto leveling, which worked well, and the color touch screen, which is a feature that often gets chopped from low-cost models. If you're willing to put a little effort into getting it set up correctly, it's a great printer for the price. Number 5. Anycubic Photon Mono X. Best for mass-produced gaming minis. Standard resin printers are fine if you want to print small items or miniatures. For more oversized cosplay items, practical models or collections of gaming miniatures, you're going to need a bigger build area. Enter the Anycubic Mono X, a resin printer that solves that issue by having a build plate nearly 3 times bigger than the standard Anycubic models. For example, I managed to print the entire blade of a June Chris knife, something that would have needed to be split into 3 parts if it wasn't for the extra build volume. The Mono X also prints at insane speeds. Because resin prints the entire layer in one shot, they tend to be quicker than traditional FDM printers in the first place, but the Mono X takes this to the extreme with layers printing in as little as 1 second. It's incredible to watch. James Bricknell. Number 6. Flashforge Adventurer 4. Best 3D printer for ease of use. The Flashforge Adventurer 3 has long been one of CNET's favorite mid-price 3D printers. The updated Adventurer 4 brings a handful of iterative improvements that make for a winning evolution. The Adventurer 4 is a fully enclosed unit, which helps control the temperature and block drafts. The build area is 220 by 200 by 250 mm, and it has a system for easily swapping out nozzles, all good features to have in a mid-level to high-end printer. Number 7. Creality CR30. Best for small biz or pro cosplayers. A word of warning, the CR30 is not for the beginners out there. It is a complicated machine, and you will need some 3D printing knowledge to really get the hang of it. It's also a very different beast, and instead of printing on a static-sized build plate, it uses a conveyor belt to create an endless Z-axis. That lets you print very long things or lots of things over and over again. If you are a cosplayer looking to make weapons or large armor pieces, the CR30 gives you a lot of room to create. I've managed to print Squall's Gunblade from Final Fantasy VIII as well as the Whisper of the Worm from Destiny 2, both were printed in 2 halves and attached together. It's great for small businesses looking to mass-produce small parts, and with just 2 CR30s you could create a small empire on Etsy or Shopify. James Bricknell. Number 8. Sol Desktop Laser 3D Scanner. Best 3D scanner for easy replicas. Recreate pretty much anything by putting it on this 3D scanner, where a rotating base and built-in camera create a 360-degree copy, which is then editable in any 3D program and printable on your 3D printer. Simply scan the object, import the scan into your slicing software for cleanup, and print. The included software alerts you of next steps in the printing process with either sound or texts. Scan quality and print resolution are great, and setup is easy, although you might want to clean up your 3D model a bit in a 3D software app after.